We're going to go right into Proverbs 24. And as I stated before earlier, Proverbs is a book that many scholars, or whatever they call themselves, they give Solomon a lot of credit for having written this. And Proverbs is full of God's wisdom. And in days such as this, and even as the sister was admonishing us to keep our eyes on him, a lot of us are at a quandary in our lives where you really don't know what to do. There are a lot of talking heads, a lot of people that are projecting that, they know what's needed and what should be done, and a lot of us can be confused rather easily, especially when you tend to lean closer to your emotions. Proverbs is pretty straightforward, and you've got to really try. You've got to put forth effort to not understand what's being said. And until some of these clouds lift, we kind of need to stay with Proverbs, because even though, a lot of this was written some time ago, a lot of it is prevalent even to today. And there are so many people that really don't know what to do. There are a lot of people that don't even know what to believe, and some have lost how to believe. And our very lives depend on it. Some of us have followed stupid people. Some of us should have spoke up and said nothing. The Baptists used to say all the time that the Most High don't like a coward. That's not true. He love a coward too, because a coward can get some courage. A hero. A hero is a person that overrides the fear, because fear is present in times of danger. That's the way we were created. That's the way we were made. But a hero, in spite of experiencing fear, does the right thing and is consistent in doing the right thing. People have been interviewed, and sometimes a reporter will ask, "Were you afraid?" And they'll say, "Yes, I was afraid, but something moved them into action." And as people like to say, the body of Christ, but I prefer the Most High's family. We may not be heroes, but we don't need to be cowards. Out of the version that we're all familiar with, "Be not thou envious against evil men, neither desire to be with them. For their heart studieth destruction, and their lips talk of mischief. Through wisdom is an house builded, and by understanding it is established. And by knowledge shall the chambers be filled with all precious and pleasant riches. A wise man is strong. Yea, a man of knowledge increaseth strength. For by wise counsel thou shalt make thy war. For by wise counsel thou shalt make thy war. And in the multitude of counselors there is safety. Wisdom is too high for a fool. Wisdom is too high for a fool. Wisdom is too high for a fool. He openeth not his mouth in the gate, or she. He that deviseth to do evil shall be called a mischievous person. The thought of foolishness is sin. The thought of foolishness is sin. The thought of foolishness is sin. And the scorner is an abomination to men. The scorner is an abomination to men or mankind. If thou faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small. Now that's pretty straightforward, even for this version. I'm going to read it again. If thou faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small. If thou forbear to deliver them that are drawn unto death, and those that are ready to be slain. If thou sayest, behold, we knew it not, doth not he that pondereth the heart consider it? And he that keepeth thy soul, doth not he know it? And shall not he render to every man according to his works? We're real big on that. God will get him. God will get him. God will get him. Sometimes, saints, it feels like he's on nobody's side but his own. In every situation, he has something for the victim. He has something for the perpetrator. And he has something for those that were just standing by. I wasn't doing anything. I was just there. Everyone gets something. And he determines that. My son, eat thou honey, because it is good, and the honeycomb, which is sweet to thy taste. So shall the knowledge of wisdom be unto thy soul when thou hast found it. When thou hast found it. When thou hast found it. Then there shall be a reward, and thy expectation shall not be cut off. Shall not be cut off. Lay not wait, O wicked man, against the dwelling of the righteous. Spoil not his resting place. For a just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief. This is key. Rejoice not when thine enemy falleth, and let not thine heart be glad when he stumbleth. Most of us that have been here a while, we learned a long time ago when someone has brought trouble in your life and they've been just downright a pain in the backside, Don't be glad when Almighty God finally strike them down. And we took it a step further. Even when someone is oppressing you, it is not good to talk bad about them, because in your speech or in our speech against them, the Most High may have mercy on them. And that's confusing to the human mind. But we learned that long time ago when we were learning about Lashon Hara, Rachilis, Motziam Shamra, all of those things that were running rampant in this city. And we learned that up in the Most High is actually to lower yourself. But the system that we live in, it says you should elevate yourself. A lot of times, we feel confused. And sometimes, saints, we just need to just kind of stop and just ask Him for clarity, particularly when you're most confused and when things just seem to be haywire. We've got to learn how to calm ourselves and ask Him for clarity. Father, I don't understand. If He wills to, He'll answer. If He doesn't, He won't. Can we live with that? We have to. See, we've been taught if we pray a certain way, or we sing a certain way, or we look a certain way, or we go to a certain place of worship, or we're in a special place, He's got to do what we pray. No, He doesn't. If we can control Him like that, we're God. And we know we're not. That's real faith. Rejoice not when thine enemy falleth, and let not thine heart be glad when he stumbleth. Lest the Lord see it, and it displease Him, and He turn away His wrath from him. I just told you that. I told you that a different way. So if somebody is really plucking your nerves and making your life rotten, don't tell another saint, oh, God gonna strike them down. Don't have that kind of conversation. When you hear about some mishap, oh, I'm so glad. A year late, but better late than never. It's hard to do, but the best thing to do is remain silent and say, Lord, you know, they really did a number on me. But don't go to another saint and say, you know, I'll be so glad when they get theirs. Because see, what each one of us got to remember, when they get theirs, we're going to get ours. You know, remember that every time you say that about somebody, remember you got to get yours too. Correction. We got to get ours too. And let me take it a step further. It is not scripturally correct to, when it comes to your loved ones and you, mercy. But when it comes to somebody else that either don't look like you or that you don't know, I want justice. That's how most of us are. And thank goodness that the Most High doesn't operate that way. Fret not thyself because of evil men, neither be thou envious at the wicked. For there shall be no reward to the evil man. The candle of the wicked shall be put out. My son, fear the Lord and the king, and meddle not with them that are given to change. For their calamity shall rise suddenly, and who knoweth the ruin of them both? These things also belong to the wise. It is not good to have respect of persons in judgment. And as you all know, when I used to hear that all the time, two people I think about is Sam and Francis Person. And when somebody would say, well, God is no respect of persons. So I would just say under my breath, yeah, but he loved Francis and Sam. Because their last name is Person. That's why I said. Some of you didn't get that. Listen to this. He that saith unto the wicked, thou art righteous, him shall the people curse. Nations shall abhor him. Let me read that again. He that saith unto the wicked, thou art righteous. Him shall the people curse. Nations shall abhor him. That's kind of bad when nations are taking action against you. But to them that rebuke him shall be delight, and a good blessing shall come upon them. Every man shall kiss his lips that giveth a right answer. Prepare thy work without, and make it fit for thyself in the field, and afterwards build thine house. Be not a witness against thy neighbor without cause. Let me read that again, because we didn't hear the without cause. And a lot of us have been preached, don't be a witness against your neighbor. Let me read it in full. Be not a witness against thy neighbor without cause. And deceive not with thy lips. Say not, I will go do so to him as he have done to me. I will render to the man according to his work. I went by the field of the slothful, and by the vineyard of the man void of understanding. And lo, it was all grown over with thorns and nettles, had covered the face thereof, and the stone wall thereof was broken down. Then I saw and considered it well. I looked upon it and received instruction. Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall thy poverty come as one that travaileth, and thy want as an armed man. Now, some of that was clear, but let's hear it a different way. Be not envious of evil people, and don't desire to be with them. Let me read that again. Be not envious of evil people, and don't desire to be with them, for their minds are occupied with violence, and their lips speak of making trouble. By wisdom, a house is built. By understanding, it is made secure. And by knowledge, its rooms are filled with all kinds of costly and pleasant possessions. Costly and pleasant possessions. And not just in your living room. A wise man is strong. So a man of knowledge grows in strength. For with clever strategy, you wage your war. See, here it's not saying don't go to war, but it's telling you how to go to war. And anybody of even average intelligence, you count the cost before you go to war. For with clever strategy you wage your war, and victory comes from having many advisors. Wise advisors, not stupid people. Wisdom is too lofty for a fool. He keeps his mouth shut at the city gate. He who plans to do evil, people call a schemer. A schemer. A schemer. He who plans to do evil, people call a schemer. The evil plans of the foolish are sin, and people detest a scorner. If you slack off on a day of distress, your strength is small indeed. Yes, rescue those being dragged off to death. Won't you save those about to be killed? Or do we remain silent in pursuit of false peace? You know, we don't want to be people that are quiet when we should speak up, and speak up when we should shut up. We don't want to be like that. We don't want to be like that. We should not want to be like that. If you say, and here's the, we knew nothing about it, won't he who weighs hearts discern it? You know, a lot of times, saints, when it's something that we don't particularly want to do, it's so much easier to say, well, don't come to me with, I didn't know anything about it. That's kind of trying to shirk your responsibility. I said last week, most people want the benefits of belonging to a family, but too few want the responsibility that comes along with belonging to a family. Don't be like that. Don't be like that. Yes, he who guards you will know it, and repay each one as his deeds deserve. My son, eat honey, for it is good. Honeycomb drippings are sweet to your taste. Know that wisdom is similarly sweet to your soul. If you find it, if you find it. In order to find it, you got to be looking for it. Or do we just get up and, I guess get used to days of sunshine and rainbows and unicorns? Know that wisdom is similarly sweet to your soul. If you find it, then you will have a future. What you hope for will not be cut off. So you got to be in pursuit. We have to be in pursuit of wisdom. And part of that pursuit is knowing what's around you, being cognizant of what's happening, not having to get everything second and third hand. You do some investigation. You be at the forefront. You be there when it first comes out to take advantage of wisdom so you can implement it in your life so that you can share it with someone else. Hey, I didn't know that. Thank you. Hey, man, take it and get with it. And let's get busy. The young people used to say, let's stop talking about it and let's be about it. Don't lurk like an outlaw near the home of the righteous. Don't raid the place where he lives. I tell you, saints, take stock of your property. And I know most of you already know this. Stop leaving your purses and cameras and phones in your car where people can see. Don't encourage somebody to do something. Be smart. Please be smart. Don't make yourself a target. See, this was written some time ago, but it applies today. And, the more everything keeps going up, you're going to have a lot of people do some things that they didn't think they would do. And when people get desperate, they try some things. So, let's remain sober. Let's be vigilant. Let's be watchful. I didn't say fearful. Be watchful. I tell you, Proverbs for me is right on time. Don't lurk like an outlaw near the home of the righteous. Don't raid the place where he lives. For though he falls 7 times, he will get up again. It is the wicked who fall under stress. Now, the way it was taught to a lot of us, they said the righteous falls 7 times, but he get up. Listen, if you're vigilant, if you remain sober and you're watchful, you do what is called, you mitigate the risk. Now, we can't totally wipe risk out totally, because you probably didn't think about it, but we all took a chance coming here this morning. We could have had a flat tire. We could have been in a car accident. And it doesn't have to be anything fatal, but something could have stopped us from getting here. That's why all of us, I pray, have car insurance. See, you're mitigating the risk. You're lessening the risk by driving, because you have liability, and the liability may not protect you, but it'll protect the car that you hit. If you have homeowners, you have a homeowner's policy. That's mitigating the risk. If the place catch on fire and it burned to the ground, if you got replacement costs, which you should have, they shouldn't be selling actual cash value policies, but that's another story. I hope all of your homeowners have replacement costs on it. They will replace your home and the items in it. See, we take risks every day. We just don't think about it. And I'm not telling you to continually dwell on it, but I would like the people of the Most High to be a little more circumspect. One of my relatives is dating a young lady, and I mean, just carefree. It's scary, because she actually thinks because she go to church every Sunday, everything's going to be fine. Is she you could threaten to shoot her and she's not going to change her mind. And I mean, it's wonderful that she goes to church every Sunday. But I don't know who told her that life was going to give her an exemption. None of us get one. Now, I know that the Most High heard her when she said that. I'm not on his counsel. He'll do with that as he pleases. Might work out for her. But she's had a couple of instances. Somebody snatched her purse. You know, life situations. And all my cousin is saying is, look, everybody's not like you. I did tell her, well, you could go to church with her sometime when she goes. So that was my way in to throw that in on him. But I bring that up because there are a lot of people in the kingdom that think exactly the same way. And yes, he's with us. He's with you when it's snowing. He's with you when the sun shines. He's with you in the rain. And it did snow a little bit today, you all. He's with us even in adversity. He's with us even when we can't feel him. He's still there. Listen at this next one. Don't rejoice when your enemy falls. Don't let your heart be glad when he stumbles. for Yah might see it. You know, because on one hand, we get up, and I've heard a lot of saints say, well, I'm just going to stand still and God will fight my battles. And he will, his way, maybe not the way we think. Because again, I believe that. But if Alan come to me and he starts swinging, what, I'm going to just stand there and say, God will fight my battles? Man, I get knocked out. I mean, I ain't going to fight Alan. Alan ain't going to fight me, but I'm just using that as an example. Because we sometimes take things almost out of context. Saints, the truth of the matter is, even when you made that quality decision to join the family of God, there are some adverse days that's got your name on it, that's got my name on it. And what he's saying to you was, welcome to the family. I'm going to be with you even to the ends of the earth. And that's in the good days and the bad days, not only the good days. And I wish that it had not been taught like that. Give your heart to Jesus and you'll have no more problems. That's not true. In some people's lives, after they gave their heart, that's when all hell broke loose. For some. Don't rejoice when your enemy falls. Don't let your heart be glad when he stumbles. For Yah might see it, and it would displease him. And then listen, he might withdraw his anger from your foe. And I had to, I know in my own life, I've had to remind myself of that. Because some people, you just want to punch them in the face. And I'm saying, wait a minute, hold it. Don't even get in a conversation about that person because you know what you're feeling right now. And so I got to withdraw from that. Because for whatever insidious thing they've done, if I start talking against them, it says here, he might withdraw his anger. Same thing. Don't let somebody get you to a point where you do something and you end up disqualifying yourself. They are not worth it. They are not worth it. Now, I know that's easier said than done, especially if you are prone to fight. We really got to learn to give that thing to him and leave it. We've had services where people brought concerns up to the altar. And I wonder what percentage of us, before we left, took that concern right back to the car with us. We should have left it there. Proverbs is rich with wisdom that is applicable today, and it'll be applicable tomorrow. And, you know, it's teaching us how to carry ourselves daily. That's what all of this stuff is for. Not just to be able to recite it. Oh, boy. It's for us to implement. It's for us to demonstrate it. and when we're really trying to implement the word, that person that knows how to get your goat, can you imagine how much you confuse them when they say whatever it is they say that gets a rise out of you? And then you can at least, if nothing else, rather than go negative, you just say, well, just help me to stay neutral. That'll blow their minds. And they might say, maybe he didn't hear me. I'll say it, and I'll say it louder. For some of us, that's what it's going to take. And you're not being a coward then. You're showing wisdom. And he even took it a step further with me because even in trying to stay neutral, if the reason I'm trying to stay neutral is because I want them to get the full brunt of what's coming to them, that's attitude on my part. I got to be careful with that because that may cause him to withdraw his anger. In other words, I've got to learn, and we have to learn to really let it go. That's where your real faith. See, faith is, yes, he can, but he may not. What did Job say? The Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. In the Old Testament, when he was describing himself, the Most High said what? He said, I'm God. I wound, I heal. I kill, I make alive. I'm God. Do any of you remember reading that? It's in there. I didn't make it up. We don't get that taught much. We don't get that taught much. That was the Most High talking about himself. How does that measure up with the way you were taught about what faith is? Are you going to take the word of some preacher, or are you going to take the Most High's word? Think about that. Don't get upset because of evildoers. Don't be envious of the wicked, for the evil person has no future. The lamp of the wicked will go out. My son, don't get involved with revolutionaries, but fear Yah and the king. For disaster from them will suddenly appear, and who knows what ruin they both can cause. Most of us, when we were going to grade school and stuff, our parents told us, when a fight break out, we're supposed to go away from the fight. But what did most of us do? When a fight broke out, most of us, we ran to see it. When messy stuff is going on, get away from it. Don't even get in the vicinity. Now, if something is awry, please tell a brother or sister, particularly if whatever they are devising is going to hurt them. Don't just, oh, I removed myself from that. Yeah, but you never told me they was coming for me. With an extra 20 seconds, Barry, look out. I would have appreciated that. Well, I just didn't want to have nothing to do with it. Oh, what I would do to the person that told me something like that. How can you stand by and call yourself a child of the Most High, know something ugly is about to happen to a brother or sister, and you say nothing, but you remove yourself? Because that's what the Bible says. I tell you, saints, we really need to reread and re-understand what we've been believing and espousing for all these years. And when you read with comprehension and understanding, you can find out a whole lot of that stuff. It may have preached well, but it was inaccurate. And all the things that we've heard that God said this, God said that, read what the Most High say about himself and take his word for it. I don't care how charismatic the person is that you tune in every other day or whatever, or doesn't matter. It's what he says about himself that counts. He is running everything. He's running everything, even what we call chaos. Nothing operates outside of his realm. Death angel. Where does he get his marching orders from? Any other entity you can think of, everything answers to him. And he uses what he will as he pleases. That's what makes him who he is. That's real faith. These also are sayings of the wise. I see it, Red. These also are sayings of the wise. Showing partiality in judgment is not good. He who tells the guilty, you are innocent, will be cursed by people, reviled by nations. Now, here again, we heard it in one version, we're hearing it in another. He who tells the guilty, you are innocent, will be cursed by people, reviled by nations. But with those who condemn him, things will go well. I mean, some people have, I don't know what the word is. I guess they've enchanted people so much, they believe every word come out of their mouth. And the person could be telling a bold-faced lie and people still believe it. And I'm like, it's amazing. It is amazing. How many of you would keep the same financial advice if every bit of financial advice he gave you, you ended up losing your money? How long would you stay with him or her? Mm. Mm. Giving an honest answer is like giving a kiss. That's what this translation says. Giving an honest answer is like giving a kiss. Now, let me add a caveat. We don't have to be brutally honest. We don't have to be brutally honest. And I would caution us, even, you may have told this person, you've been telling them the truth all this time, and they wouldn't believe you. And somebody else will come and tell them the exact same thing you've been telling them for years, and they believe them. Don't get angry with them. Don't know why they didn't believe you. Giving an honest answer is like giving a kiss. Now, some people are not good kissers. So, take that for what it's worth. In reality, saints, you always want somebody to be honest with you. Even if it's bad news. Just be honest. Just be honest with them. And that goes for if somebody asks you, they want you to do a favor for them. If you really don't want to do it, just tell them you don't want to do it or you can't do it. Stop worrying about that will hurt their feelings. And then please stop telling people, yeah, you can count on me, and then they can't count on you. Don't do that. Even if they ask you in church. Maybe they can get somebody else. And you never know. It might be somebody right there saying, well, they never asked me. And sometimes we zero in on people. And we think, this person. And it might be somebody right there said, well, they never asked. Giving an honest answer is like giving a kiss. Prepare your outside work and get things ready for yourself on the land. After that, build your home or build your house. In other words, get the land ready, clear it, and then build your house. Listen at this one. Don't be a witness against your neighbor for no reason. See, it didn't say don't be a witness at all. I mean, you might be living by, somebody that's pretty shady. You might, I don't know. Or you might be, I might be the shady one. I better not say you. I might be the shady one. But it says here, don't be a witness against your neighbor for no reason. Would you use your lips to deceive? Don't say, I'll do to him what he did to me. I'll pay him back what he deserves, what his deeds deserve. Now, a lot of us, at that moment, that's kind of what's happening. You say, man, when I came in, Carrie was telling me about a situation, and I immediately, I got angry. Because I was like, sometimes, saints, We don't need to do things that we know would irritate a brother or sister. We shouldn't do that. We shouldn't do that. And I got angry, and I sat down, and I said, well, you know, I got to get up before the people, and you know, and you want your heart clean, and you feeling good and everything. And I said, well, look, it bothered me, so I said, well, look, let me go see if I can remedy this situation. So I went and tried to get it done, and I think Carrie's getting some stuff done, and everything will be all right. But I'll tell you, saints, we need to be mindful of what we do, but also keep in mind what I do, particularly if I'm doing something on behalf of the church, it affects everybody. So, you know, maybe you got a mandate from the Most High. There's still a way to go about getting it done. There's still a proper way to get it done. As I've said in times past, there's a right way and a wrong way to do everything, even unpleasant things. Three minutes. I passed by the field of the lazy man and the vineyard of the man lacking sense. There it was, overgrown with thistles. The ground was covered with nettles, and its stone wall was broken down. I looked and I thought about it. I saw and I learned this lesson. I'll just lie here a bit, rest a little longer, just fold my hands for a little more sleep. And poverty comes marching in on you. Scarcity hits you like an invading soldier. And I just said earlier, safeguard your possessions. Be more mindful. I have a bad habit. Sometimes I get in and I'm trying to get into a building and I be forgetting and I don't lock my car. And you know, that didn't even take a second. You know, because most of us got them cars, you know, that you can press the button and it'll lock. And the lazy me said, oh, ain't nobody gonna steal a bunch of cleaning material. Well, yeah, they will. Because in the coming days with everything going up, people looking for anything to sell. And wouldn't I be sick? I come out there, ain't no equipment in the car, all the supplies go. Guess what? I got to go buy it again. Because I call myself and, you know, what can I do in 1 second? Nothing. Please safeguard your possessions. If you got lighting, get some lighting around your house. Again, I'm not talking fear. I'm saying be careful, be cautious. As this economy tries to right itself, people are going to get more and more desperate. And the shift that I talked about some years ago, I was going to say before 2022 is over, there's going to be a lot of shifting. A lot of shifting. And we don't need to be in that shift. We don't need to be in this shift. But we gotta be smarter. We've got to be more watchful. We've got to be diligent, vigilant. I'm through. Okay.